and spend the whole night making love.
Dan Productions.
And find it. I want you, telling you now. I want you, and I'm telling you now. Gonna find you, telling you now. I want the whole night making love. Find it.
Hello and all, welcome to Seeing Through Glass. You join me leaving Geneva. I'm headed to Monaco to find Paul Wallace. It's another road trip, another adventure, and you know what? It's been a while since I've done a Q&A, and considering the amount of travel that I've been doing recently and the amount of trips that I've got coming up over the next few months, I thought now was a good time to do a travel-themed Q&A. And just like that, we're in France. It does still amaze me how easy it is to cross borders here in Europe. I mean, that's a pretty big one. Sometimes you don't even know you've crossed a border. But yes, there's a chance today that I could travel through 3 countries in one day. Switzerland, Italy and France. I don't know for sure. I'm not sure what the route is. But yeah, France. Oh, it is nice. I do like a French motorway. One quick tip before we get into the Q&A is if you are driving through France, get one of these. They're like little toll blippers. The French call the toll booths the péage, and you get them on most motorways or highways. And this, it's like an electronic blipper. You literally apply to it, it's direct debit, so it just charges you at the end of the month. And look, approaching a toll, this Jag has like a heated windscreen, so it's really thick, so you have to hold it out the window. Usually you just put it in the windscreen. Hold out the windscreen, approach the toll, wait for the beep, beep, and he's away! Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Get yourself a toll blipper. Tunnel! Tunnel! 3, 2, 1. And I need a petrol station. And we're in Italy, so that is 3 countries in one day. I freaking love Europe. Also, you may have seen at the beginning of this vlog, I visited a sort of a health food cafe called Green Gorilla. They very kindly reached out to me and invited me down this morning in Geneva, and it had everything that I love, you know, superfood smoothies and raw kale salads. But they also gave me something called nitro coffee. It's really starting to kick in. So size away, so don't look back in anger. I know you just what I feel. Well, I really hope the come down from that coffee is not as brutal as the high. Anyway, now that all the sort of pretty stuff is behind us, it's now a bit of a long old slog to Monaco. We can get into the Q&A, and I'm going to kick things off with Jacob Hudson. And Jacob's asked, what is the best road I've ever driven on? And it's such a good question. I mean, I've kind of been racking my brains a little bit because I have so many memories of so many incredible drives in incredible cars, but I feel like you kind of have to go with whatever your initial thought is, your first instinct. And for me, it's kind of always the 570S drive in Tenerife. Now, the immediate thought is the drive up the volcano for the video that I made, the driving up a volcano in McLarens for sunrise, yada yada, yada yada. That drive was awesome, but the drive that I remember, the one that I think of, is actually the drive back down the volcano. Some of you know this, I've mentioned it before. When we got to the top, Seb Delaney and I swapped cars. He jumped into the 650S Spider, and I got into the 570S for the first ever time. I'd only driven a 570 GT to that point. And it was like 7 AM, the roads were empty. And if you've never been to Tenerife before, it's like Mars. It is literally like another planet with these incredible roads going through it. And we drove those two cars quicker than I've ever driven anything in my entire life. It was an unbelievable experience. Probably my first real supercar experience. And that's always the one that pops out in my head as like the best road, the best drive. Everything pulling together to being, something that will stay with me for the rest of my life, for sure. God, we're getting emotional on question 1. Dangeron. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce your name. You come up as Munted on Twitter, so not sure what's going on there, Dane. But you've asked if I'll ever come to Australia, or what I would do if I came to Australia. You know, Australia is definitely one of those places that is on my list, somewhere that I really want to go. Funnily enough, I have like a weird connection with Australia. My godmother's Australian, my sort of ex-business partner, if you can call her a business partner, was also Australian. There's something about Australia that I have like this affinity to, natural affinity to it, but I've never been. So I think if I were to come, I would probably try and do it around the Formula 1 Grand Prix in Melbourne. Kaz de Brouwer, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, asked if there was one place in the world that I could go that I haven't been before, where would I want to go? And for me, hands down, Japan. Absolutely, I have got such a desire, such a itch to get out to Japan. I don't know what it is, but it's always fascinated me. I've always wanted to go, and now with car culture, I'm obsessed with the idea of going to Japan. I want to go, I want to rent a Nissan GTR, I want to drifter master. But yeah, that is for me at the moment the place I want to go. Tony from Gravelwood, Tony, I love the way you submit questions on Twitter, has asked, was there ever a time that I was on a road where I wish I wasn't, I thought I was in the wrong car, where I was driving on a road in Europe and I thought I was in the wrong car? Yes, topically, Modball last year, Paul and I were in the Rolls-Royce Phantom, and it was the leg from Lyon to Monaco, and it's a drive that Paul and I have done quite a few times. So the night before, we managed to convince everyone to avoid the motorways and take the mountains. We're like, guys, come on, it's the most amazing roads, it's so good, motorways are so boring. Forgetting we were in a 5-ton boat that is the Rolls-Royce Phantom. So once we hit these roads, everyone in their supercars and freaking souped up sports cars just went so fast, and we were there in the Rolls-Royce desperately trying to hang on. I mean, I nearly rolled that thing about 4 times. Alex Stern has asked, which country do we go to that appreciate the cars the most? Italy. Italy. It's amazing. You don't even have to be in a Ferrari or a Lamborghini, really anything. And you know, if you're in the big cities, Milan, Rome, whatever, yeah, they look at you, but the same as they would in Paris or London or Barcelona. But the thing about Italy is you can be in the middle of nowhere. You're like, no one lives here, and yet someone comes down and goes, "Hey, oddio, oh, ma, bella." Oh, I'm a bit freaking sleepy now. It's been a long day. I was up super early this morning. And as awesome as that nitro coffee was, it has had the disastrous come down where I now just feel like I want to go to sleep. So I've got a cafe zero. Oh, and a wasp. This last stretch of motorway, sort of along the coast, the top of Italy into France towards Monaco, is just tunnel, which is great for like exhaust noise, but awful for video because I'll be talking like this and then suddenly it goes pitch black. Anyway, a couple more questions before we get to my final destination. Mohammed Hussein has been asking if there are any more supercar rallies coming up in the future. Obviously I made the announcement that unfortunately I'm not doing Modball rally this year, the European rally, but hopefully I'm going to go and find them in Geneva on Monday. So I go back to Geneva on Monday to find the Mod Ball rally. I haven't got any other plans except for Mod Ball USA. Tunnel! Is it dark? Can you see me? Can you hear me is the question. Right, quickly, next question. John Ewing has asked, is it awesome having cars like this F-Type to take on trips, or do I wish I was doing it in my McLaren? It's freaking awesome. It's the best thing ever. And I've been quite vocal and honest and open about the fact that I'm sort of toing and froing about my cars, my current car situation, what to do, what not to do. And this kind of thing, manufacturers now lending cars, is a big part of that sort of decision-making process, because now suddenly manufacturers are, you know, lending me amazing cars to take on trips that I was previously doing in my own car. So therefore you're like, well, do I need my own car? Tunnel! I'm assuming I'm dark. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sort of getting caught up in a brain poo, but essentially getting lent cars to do big trips on is the freaking dream. And as if we'd gone back in time, I am here again in Monaco with an F-Type. Feels quite weird saying that, but so good. This car is peppered with dead flies. I have to find a car wash for it. It is getting embarrassing. Anyway, it is so good to be back here. I'm literally in Monaco for like a day and a half or 2 days filming the next challenge for the Michelin series, and then Paul and I are going on to Italy before I eventually return back to Geneva, hopefully for the Mod Ball rally, and then slowly make my way back towards the UK for the Goodwood Festival of Speed. I hope you guys have enjoyed this kind of Q&A. As I say, it was just a travel day, but I wanted to do something for you guys, put out a bit of content, and I'm enjoying my traveling so much. I really am loving every second, so I want to be able to share as much information and answer any questions you might have about it, which hopefully I did today. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you have, and make sure to subscribe for plenty more videos to come.